to say good morning today and say, silent night, holy night, all is calm. Using the lamp to look like the moon. All is bright. Feels like the night time. I can tell you, I woke up at 4 o'clock this morning. Mark wasn't with me, and it freaked me out and frightened me because when I learned to look in Nanny Di's room, he wasn't in there either. But actually, he was asleep downstairs. But I'm just looking for my car because it's the last day of school today. We break up today for Christmas, so it's my last trip up to Shepherd's Bush for loose women for 2021. Pray God 2022 is going to be better, eh? I'm going to try and be jolly today, but obviously the news is just terrible everywhere, so it's going to take some effort, innit? But here we go, push through, fake it to make it. Just do. Just listen to the bloody news. But anyway, Kay and Carol are in Soho House having a little coffee. So I've got about 15 minutes before the meeting. So I'm going to fly in there, have a quick cuppa, and I'm just going to fake it to make it. I think I'm going to pretend I'm okay, and then before I know it, I will be okay. That's my little trick. Pretend everything's fabulous, and then I kind of con myself. Here I go. 1, 2, 3. So we've just had a hilarious meeting, and Kay has Judy ages ago was trying to get her to twerk, and Judy failed miserably. So yesterday, Kay spent some time with a dance teacher who taught her how to twerk. I'm going to drop this in now. Have a look at this. It's shot the wrong way round, but have a look.
Dance teacher.
Is that how you learn to twerk? You did. You could not get her twerking.
My twerking sensation in Strictly has changed the world.
But come on, how funny was that, Judy? How proud of you of Kay.
I am so proud of her.
And then Judy went, you can have sex like that.
Yes, girl. That's another session.
Other people, of course.
Yeah.
Morning, subs. Hope you enjoyed last night's Vlogmas. My God, it was late going up, wasn't it? Do apologise, YouTube and all that stuff. Did you like our Sultana porn? Yeah, it's a little bit sultry. I've eaten some of them. They're really nice. Sultanas, they're so squishy and soft, and oh, they just burst. Here's the thing. This is what's happening today. Nanny Di doesn't know what's happening today, and I'm surprising her, though it might be at times quite an emotional surprise. I'm surprising her, and we're doing a little bit of a Christmas past. When I was a young boy and we used to go up to Portobello Market to drag a tree down towards our flat, our basement flat. We're heading back to Ladbroke Grove and the neighbourhood in which I grew up. My mum, was there, obviously. Some of you will know it was a patchy childhood. But when you're a child, you make the most of whatever is going on in front of you. And so, consequently, it's not entirely about having bad memories. Not at all. It's only as an adult, when you reflect back on what you were coping with, do you begin to realise that perhaps, you struggled with this a bit more than that. Suffice it to say, these were the days in which me and my mum struck a close and fraught bond. I looked out for her. I helped her through periods of time in her life when I know she was struggling. And principally at Christmas, I would always be taken down to my nan's. But in the run up to Christmas, obviously school didn't finish until, 3, 4, 5 days before Christmas. In the run up to Christmas, we still got a tree, and, my mum still made the flat Christmassy. Lots of tinsel, though she denies it. So we're going to head down to Ladbroke Grove. I'm going to take her around some of the old haunts. I've got the car because she can't walk too far. She can't do too many steps. And yeah, so I'm gonna unleash what we're doing on her once she's got in the car. Her hat is here. She's very sweet, my mum. You all love her. So do I. I mean, I rib her, but she ribs back. In fact, ribbing is what we do. That's the nature of our relationship. And that's the way we found to push on in life, isn't it, Ma? So, Ma.
So what? I thought, oh my God, I've got the dreaded luggage.
Oh no, what, the Omni Crumpet?
Like, you're a bit sick of hearing of the name of it.
Omni Crumpet.
Omni Crumpet.
Look how I have to hold the camera, Mum, to get us both in.
Apparently it hits you back, Mark.
What hits you back?
The omnipresence.
Does it? I was doing some reverse sit-ups the other
I
day.
presume it means your lungs at the back.
Oh, does it?
It's gotta
Do
be
you think?
lungs, doesn't it?
No. Okay, well, we're getting a coffee, and then I'm going to tell Nan what we're doing.
Yeah, because it's so exciting. And because just as I was leaving my house, with the locking of the door, which is so complicated for a poor simple soul like me, the phone went ding, and I thought, oh, that's Mark saying something.
Phone went ding, the door went dong.
The door went ding, the ding went ding, and of course it was Izzy with this long, complicated thing. I texted
Well, she was
her
at your-
about 4 days ago,
Oh.
saying, what's your address? When are you going to come? And in typical Izzy fashion, it was just at the moment where I couldn't.
Oh, no.
So when I got on the train, I texted her and said, oh, look, I'm doing stuff today, but I'll text you later.
Oh, okay. All right.
Her birthday's the 20th.
I know, on Monday.
Today, I don't know what's happening. It's all a mystery subs, and it's a surprise. But, sorry.
Nan's ear isn't quite working, so if I'm shouting, it's
Yeah.
because she needs an ear horn.
It's my ear, you know, my bad ear, that bad ear I keep going on about, but it's blocked completely. And I've done all the things that you do with the blocked ear, but it will not come back. So, A, I'm shouting. B, I have to make everybody else shout. So lovely to see you all, though.
There you go, there you go. So, Mum, we're going on a trip down memory lane.
Ah!
Yes.
No.
Yes.
Not
Labrador Grove.
LG.
LG, we're heading back.
Oh, my God.
This is Tales of Christmas Past.
Oh, my God, I might cry.
Well, I'll probably cry too. We can both cry together. We can roll around on the floor.
Oh,
It's
my
going to be
God.
weird.
I didn't think it would be that because...
Well, we were going to go on foot, and then I thought, no, Nanny and I will struggle, so I thought we could just park at lots of little places.
Oh, thank you. That's good, actually. I thought it might be that, and then I thought,
No, they haven't got time.
yeah.
Yeah, well, we haven't, so let's get a move on.
Oh, just say again what you just said.
We're going extra glam today.
Just going glam. And that's very good because I do look like a bag of shit after yesterday, which you all saw me quite pissed.
Special.
So we're going Christmas special. What are you going to do with this?
Oh,
Look like a drag race. Here we go. The beginning of the glam.
will be revealed.
So what are you going to be doing?
We're going to go for a gold brown smoky
Oh, good.
bonanza.
Oh, I like the sound of that. Here we are.
Okay.
Nearly gorgeous. I have eaten a kilo weight of carbs. I've had a half massive cinnamon and custard pastry. Judy Love bought us all pastries. Otherwise, of course, I would never have touched one. And then, after my pastry, I had a bacon roll chaser. I bet you can't believe what you've witnessed this woman eating.
She's eating, that's for sure.
Do you know what? I fancy fish and chips. So there I am. Don't I look good? Lovely eyes. Love it. And now we're just trying to do something with the haystack.
I'm going to straighten it. With my camera.
Oh God, I'm so carved up now. I don't know what to do with myself except maybe have a bag of crisps when I get upstairs to the studio floor. What do you reckon?
Yeah.
Crisps and a Diet Coke?
Yeah.
Yeah. How are you? Masked up. Very good girls. They're all very masky in here. So, oh no! I've just realised now I'm wearing the purple dress, I can't wear this. Can I have it anyway? I'll buy it. I'll buy that one because then I'll have it for Christmas Day. I love it. And then I've got that gorgeous green dress for Christmas Day. I'll have to keep changing on Christmas. Do you want me to take all my shit with me? These are fantastic. Where are they from?
I'm not going to take the
These bloody stylists, you asked me this. So this is the lovely dress they've got me today for our last day.
You have to take it up because you're too short.
I can't tell you, Bertie, how grateful I am that I'm wearing this. Because I've just had a bacon sandwich and a huge cinnamon bun. And in a minute I'm going to have crisps.
Yay!
Yeah, because it's already Christmas. Thanks, Bertie. Oh my God, Bertie, I love this outfit. I'm going to get Bertie, actually. I'm going to turn this around so Bertie can show you just how gorgeous I look.
See? How gorgeous am I? I feel panto. Look at my boots. I love that you've put these boots with this, Bertie.
Oh, you're
They're gorgeous, look.
Gorgeous.
So rock cheeky. And my earrings, can I show them my earrings?
Sexy. Yes, babe.
It's the last day of school. And so fancy.
And so we've just got to literally the starting point of me and my mum's London journey, haven't we?
Yeah,
And we are at the top of, there's a crest to a hill,
yeah.
and it's Ladbroke Grove.
It's Ladbroke Grove, and this is where, when I first came to London, when you were how old?
I think I was two and a half.
3 or something.
2.5, I think
It
it's...
was, and I always remember this every year. It was the night of bonfire night.
That's right.
And the man I was with at the time, Peter, who I was with for a couple of years, the one from Whitley Bay.
So just to clarify, we had a brief stint in Whitley Bay.
We had a brief stint, so I think we were older than 2.5. I think we were probably about 3.5.
Right. Have you noticed every angle grinder in London is around us? Can you hear them with your ear?
Yeah. And the thing was, London to me was like a foreign city because just a girl from the Midlands, I knew nothing.
Yeah.
And Peter had rented this flat in for us, me, Mark and him, in Ladbroke Grove. I didn't know it was the trendiest place in the world or anything like that.
Was it trendy then?
Yeah.
Oh, it was.
But I came slowly to the trendiness. But also, we drove up. We drove up this thing, came to the top, looked down, and because of course it's a you go down the hill there, and the fireworks were everywhere. And it was just evening, and I remember thinking, oh my God, this is really living. This is living. And you were like a sort of, I don't know, enthusiastic little boy. You used to sit in the middle seat between me and
remember
Pete.
that. I remember that. I
It was
remember
like-
vomiting once and him being really cross.
Yeah, because it was
An MG, wasn't it?
a little MG, yeah.
Yeah, so I must have sat in the middle without a
You
seatbelt
did,
on.
with no seat, there was no such thing as a seatbelt.
That was a good 48 years ago. Can you believe that?
I know. And then, of course, there was a time when you and Simon just walked out of school and the police walked back.
I remember that vividly. I remember the police picking us up.
Do you?
Yeah. Look ahead, Mum.
Oh, there it is. Can you do a shot?
Yeah, well, let's go and stand behind that Mini.
Yeah. I also remember, and I think that was the first day. I mean, I was so overexcited, Tom, so you can imagine, to reiterate, a northern girl who knew nothing. But I remember walking somewhere around here. I was walking along. I'd only been here a few days. This person was walking towards me, and I suddenly realised it was a woman
Right.
with a beard.
With a beard.
With a beard. And
A bit like Santa at the garden centre.
yeah, and it was just, I remember thinking nobody gives a damn. You could be exactly what you want
I
to
remember
be.
us arriving back from somewhere and there was a completely bandaged man walking down the road.
Yeah.
Oh, look, Ma.
And the people were so strange, and everybody was so sort of like young, and just round the corner there was, we got to know them later, but James, Annie Lennox lived
right.
round the corner, and James was the guy gay guy who I got to know really well, who introduced me to that group.
Yeah. I mean, when I think of my childhood, I think of this area. We're going to head back to the car and drive a bit further down.
Yeah. I seem to have spent all my life up until that point fighting my poor mother.
Yeah.
Who'd done nothing wrong, but I seem to be fighting and running away from them all the time.
Yeah.
So suddenly I was, on my own terms sort of thing.
So it must have been really exciting.
Oh, it was so exciting. I mean,
Intimidating?
Even ridiculous things like people eating outside restaurants, and
Right.
the spaghetti house was absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
It was all too much. No wonder I succumbed.
Okay, so next part of the day is up to do the promo, which is the little bit of film that we do in this morning to say what we're up to. And then I think we're doing a pre-record because we've got the Jersey boys in today, which will be so nice. It's so lovely to get guests in the studio because we haven't had any for like 2 years properly. And so they'll be singing, so that'll be nice and Christmassy. And we've got the Christmas trees out. So, hey darling. So here we go. So here we are, look, they're setting up the stage for the Jersey boys. This is very exciting. Bada bing.
Hello.
Good morning, how are you, sir?
Thanks. How you doing?
Are you happy it's nearly Christmas?
Can't wait.
Does 2022 just feel so hopeful for you?
Can't wait to get
I'm calling it the Omni Crumpet so that it de-inflames it.
What do you call it?
The Omni Crumpet berry. I love crumpets.
Oh, right. Like it. I like it.
I've decided to bring it to my breast and give it love and not to fear it.
I'm not fearing it. I just want Christmas and a holiday.
Oh no. So you changing what you do?
I'm not going to go out.
Oh, another great Christmas. That's all the smoke, practicing with the smoke. It's not your eyes going funny. Look at the amount of lights it takes to make us look half decent.
And just to explain how we managed to stay there, he continued paying, didn't he?
Yeah. He wanted to go. They had a small.
This is
business
before my mum came out, by the way.
Yeah, his family had a small business, well not that small, in Whitley Bay on the Spanish City, and he had to go back to
Right.
look after the business, and he just assumed I'd go with him.
Ah,
and
but
I
you'd
didn't
got a
want
taste
to.
of freedom.
I got a taste of freedom, and then I think he'd had enough of me or
Right.
something, but I had firmly got a taste of, here, you were in school,
Yeah.
and then he said, well okay, what I'll do is I'll pay half the rent for as long as it takes.
But we're
for you
talking about 11 quid a week or something, wasn't it? I seem to remember you
ridiculous.
saying
yeah,
that.
no, it was very, very small, especially for around here.
That was my favourite showbiz line of the week. Jordan, just say again what you said to Matty.
Matty, can you come and look at these Brussels sprouts? Yeah, 2 seconds, I will. And they're okay. They're okay.
Matty, our top producer here, and the most important thing he has to do is go and look at the Brussels sprouts. What are you looking at when you look at the Brussels sprouts? What are you looking for?
To see if they're high enough that the camera can pick them up. That makes
And
no
meanwhile,
sense at all.
Omni Crumpet is raging outside.
And the Jersey boys are over there.
And the Jersey boys are over there waiting for us. Yay! So you can tell there's a bit of a theme today. How are you? With Brussels sprouts. Of course there is. It's the last day.
Parked now just between Latimer Road and Blenheim Crescent, which is where we used to live, Mum.
Yeah, this borough is really, talk about rich and poor.
Oh, yeah.
Side by side.
Well, let me just turn this round because what I'm going to show you now is where most of my friends lived. So I'm just going to turn it round. So many of my friends, we used to go to their flats at lunchtime.
Did you?
That's from school, yeah.
Yeah,
When we weren't being monitored.
yeah. And
We used to escape school a lot.
right, don't tell me these things. And also, is this where you got your thing for, what's that stuff called that you have to push through to get into building sites?
Oh, corrugated iron.
Corrugated iron. You got this
I
thing
love
about
it.
corrugated
Can you
iron.
smell the spliff?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's strong, man. You know, you got to remember back in the 70s, you know, relative to then, I mean, it was rich and poor, but many of these posh houses were chopped up into flats. Mainly for the West Indian community, for probably the Windrush generation,
For
no?
the Windrush generation, exactly, because then there must have been a sort of a thing to move everybody out up to Oxford Gardens, because that's where Tony and
Yeah, I think that's when the rich landlords started to kind of...
started to come back and wanted their own property, all of it.
Now, in these flats here lived the girl that I kissed, the first girl I ever kissed, Lilith.
Lilith!
Do you remember Lilith?
I remember exactly what she looked like.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
First sort of girlfriend. But up here on the right, which we're going to take you to before going up Blenheim Crescent, you may have heard me talk about me nicking comics from a newsagent's, nicking pound notes from my mum's purse, and and then going down here to get stickers, football stickers and what have you. And this is where I got all my original comics that my mum then threw out.
I didn't.
You did, you cleared out to clear out the drawer. It was just to clear out a drawer. So I'm going to take you up there. It's changed because I've been here before, but the location is the same.
Well, you went through a sort of
Stage.
a stage. I mean, you knew it was acting, but at the same time, you thought it was funny. People did think it was funny. All my friends thought it was
Well,
funny.
usually you were in a pub.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're standing outside
I'd-
and people would give you money, and then once you realise.
Yeah, I would just beg and they'd give me a penny, and,
Yeah, yeah.
and then I'd go and get loads of wine bottles to collect.
Well, and you get loads of crisps. That's when you're crisp.
Loads of crisps that was in pubs.
Crisp fetish dog.
And I used to hate anyone or everyone that used to tear the pack open and put it on the middle of the table because it was less for me. This is where I kissed Lilith. On this corner here. Don't know if Lilith's out there, but I remember it well. This was the exclusive nightclub. It was a bit weird. But look at this door, it's imposing, isn't it? Is it a copper door? So this is very much my moment down here. Here is the former newsagents that I used to go into, which has now been turned into a happy shopper. No, this was this one, wasn't it?
Yeah.
That's where I got my comics, where I got my love of comics. And then again, up that road, going towards Holland Park, it felt like the wilderness, the Wild West.
Well, it was even posher up
It was
there,
even
although
posher, yeah.
Irony of irony is, Mark went to Holland Park School, as you probably
For secondary.
know, the secondary school, and that was posh as posh. Well, it's not, in fact.
The school
it's sort of-
isn't?
No, the
No.
school isn't, but...
Isn't it
Holland Park
weird,
is
a weird thing that we were sort of parked in the middle of such wealth? Now, can I just say something? I remember this stuff melting in the hot summer. And I remember being fascinated that it looked like it was movable, like it had melted.
Yeah.
I remember it vividly.
Like science fiction film,
Yeah.
isn't it?
So the Brussels sprout conversation is continuing. Now Carol is practicing lifting boxes of Brussels sprout. I said the Brussels sprout saga is continuing, and people wouldn't believe it. You're now practicing carrying boxes of Brussels.
I'm lifting my own weight in Brussels sprouts. Can you believe it?
I think I've peaked with the Brussels sprouts. Nothing can be this good on the show when we get there.
Okay,
So, if you can believe it, they're still talking about Brussels sprouts.
I'm not. I'm not. I'd like to do other things here today.
This is...
When we first got this flat subs, I used to walk round. We didn't have a dog then,
No.
first of all, not one. And I'd walk round the block and I'd take things home because everything that people left outside their flats was gorgeous.
Oh, right.
I mean, like shelves and carpets and rugs. I've
Yeah.
got a thing about rugs because the rugs they threw out were
Oh,
lovely.
right. See that building there?
Yeah.
I remember when it was derelict.
Oh, yes.
And me and Perry played in it, throwing things off. There was no edge. We could have fallen to our deaths.
Yeah.
This here, just by these boxes, is where the police picked me and
That's
Perry
not
up.
Simon.
Me and
Oh,
Simon. Sorry, no, me and Simon.
Monica was Simon's mum, who was officially a child
Minder.
minder at that time, was furious with you both.
Oh my God, yeah, just here. We got picked up and we were so excited because they put on the siren for us.
Yeah.
They must have taken us back to... No, they took us to the station because I remember
Yeah,
sitting
they
in
did.
chairs.
They did.
Thinking, oh, this is exciting.
I left it to Monica to tell you off because she was, I've never seen a woman so furious.
Yeah.
So I suppose she thought it reflected badly on her, but
Now, across the road here, me and Perry used to put fireworks in the letterbox and set them off.
God, Mark,
It's terrible.
you did clever things, weren't you?
Yeah. We used to find syringes in phone boxes and jab them at each other.
Probably mine.
So here you go. You can see the crescent shape.
Yeah, they're all of these streets have them.
I have such fond and such sort of weirdly fearful memories because it became quite fractious, didn't it, as your relationship started to buckle.
Well,
Let's
yeah,
face
but
it.
not even just one relationship. There were about
thousands.
Yeah. And then, I hate to say it, Subs, but drink and drugs came into the mix.
Yeah,
And that must have been horrible for Mark.
yeah.
And
God, I remember these railings. I would run my finger across these railings. Do you remember?
Yeah. I might cry.
Here's 109.
It's my black phone now.
It's crazy.
109.
They had the same fence here.
Exactly the same.
So that was my bedroom there. They're
Yeah,
probably
that
the
was
same
the bedroom.
curtains.
Margaret, who was the landlady, lived above us, and Chris, what's his name from
Chris
That's
Searle
Life,
from That's Life.
lived. And that's what all the houses around here were like. You'd have very often landladies. It was unusual for the landlady to live on the same premises.
Yeah. And she was up there.
She was on the first floor.
And look, that was the melting stairway.
Yeah. And this is identical. I mean,
And
they've
yeah. There's a photo of me standing just here taking
Yeah.
that I've posted.
Yeah.
Is that weird to see?
Like you folded your arms, yeah.
It's weird to see.
And this was when I came back that day, and it was so many times, came back, called you for you to come and open it, and you must have had that stuff on your face where you'd put it on
yes.
and then it had all exploded.
Yeah, it was
You'd had an
horror makeup.
allergic reaction to
It's a
it.
horror
I
makeup.
screamed because he was like a,
So look, so that was my bedroom there.
yeah.
You see it? In there. Crazy.
We were broken into twice there as well. The police took you around the garden. You
Crazy.
thought that was a great yeah, I mean, you were really excited because the policeman took you round
That's
the back
right.
in case they dropped the TV in the back.
Wow.
But yeah.
Well, there you go, Mum.
Yeah.
It's our first home.
Wow.
Proper home.
It looks small.
Does tiny, doesn't it? So that tree was tiny as well.
Yeah.
Wasn't it? It was a cherry tree, wasn't it?
Windows opening.
Above. They're all flats. I wonder if she chopped it up.
Yeah, I wonder too.
So it's one of these houses that I used to, it says no junk mail there, but we used to put rockets through one of these.
Yeah.
So
A
dangerous.
lot of these were.
So what a scallywag.
What a scallywag.
There they are, revving up. Here we are. Are you excited to have music in the studio?
Of course, babe.
So cool. Thank you. More makeup. More makeup. Oh, look at the light in here.
Stunning.
God, it takes 20 years off you girls. Look how many lights there are up there to do that. God, Carol, we look gorgeous in here today. The lighting's amazing. Look at Carol. Even Carol looks gorgeous.
Oh, that's pushing it.
Yeah. Thank you, darling. Just a little bit. Thank you. Gorgeous. There we go. Da da da. Da 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 da. Da da da. And yet more Brussels sprouts. Carol, shut the fuck up about the So we're back in now, and as if by magic, the stage is all gone. Wow, guys, you're amazing. Do you want to come around and tidy up my house? That was amazing. Look at that. That's like literally 5 minutes, and they've got the studio back to perfection. We are rather weirdly all now in pyjama tops, because one of the things we were talking about today was this weird thing that people do now where they have the family take their photograph in their pyjamas. So we're doing that basically. So I'm backstage now. Carol is refusing to come onto backstage. I'm hungover unless somebody gives her a bowl of Brussels sprouts. Just had in my ear, 45 seconds till we're on air. So here we go.
We'd run down there.
Obviously, if
Oh
you
my
lived in the
God.
flat, you could just get into
Yeah,
the back.
we'd
But
run
they
in.
used to, I kid you not, Subs, they used to have things like 3-piece bands in there,
Yeah, in people's
violins
gardens.
and double basses. They
Yeah,
had,
it was so-
you know, the
We were
whole
next door.
thing.
I think Douglas Hurd lived in one of these, but
Yeah.
I remember running down here with my spud gun and shooting Edwin Selby in the neck. And I remember us both then shooting each other at close range because we quite liked the feeling. It's weird. God, I remember that gate. Communal garden down there. God, We always wanted to climb over that.
Yeah.
So weird.
We could get into them, obviously.
Yeah,
from the
through our
back.
flat we
Through
got
the
into
flat.
them. So how weird is it, Mum?
It's very weird. I mean,
Is it not entirely positive?
no, it's not that it's not entirely positive. It's sort of like a bit of a dream.
I was going to say, does it feel like it does? It does to me, but I was a child.
Yeah.
But really, you were a child.
Well, I wasn't much else.
You were in your
was I?
20s.
Yeah, and I was an airhead, really. But yeah. I mean, it's like a lot of things that happened to me, and, you know, coming up to my 20s and that, things that happened to me. I know they happened, but it's like a dream.
Right.
You know, I know technically they happened, but it's sort of like, just like a dream.
What have you got in your hands?
A lot of sprouts.
Can I just say, you've been left in more than
All he's been
That
doing.
is all.
Every time I've seen him this morning, he's been carrying those sprouts.
It's all Brussels
This is a
sprouts.
man who's dedicated to his sprouts.
It's all sprouts.
Here they are, folks. Here they actually are now. They're on the set. They've got their own podium. These have been brought in, Carol. You didn't even know this.
Well, I'm just worried about what's going to happen to them afterwards.
Well, I think you're going to take them home and eat them, aren't you, for the next
Well,
2
we
weeks?
can't waste them. Look, they're good sprouts.
They are quite good sprouts. I bet they're from Marks and Spencer's.
People are starving in the world. Yeah.
Judy, do you want any sprouts? Do you want to take some sprouts home?
Well, what are we going to do with
No,
them all?
thanks.
Nobody's going to want them, are they? I'm really genuinely
You know
worried
how
about
you
the
can make
sprouts.
carrot cake? I wonder if you can make sprout cake.
I don't know. Maybe I'll just open like a soup kitchen and serve sprouts.
The way you cook them, boil them, you could keep those for weeks and still boil them into nothing. If you put those in the garden, they'll last, I mean, literally weeks.
Well, yes, but I don't have any outside space, do I? What are we going to do with them?
Do you remember they had a bank robbery down here?
Yeah, I do. I remember, didn't I go running after the guy? I was about 9. That's how I remember
Yeah,
it.
that's how I remember it.
Is it? That shot.
Yeah.
Really see the crescent, and when the blossom was out, it's just beautiful.
Yeah.
But this post box here, this post box tells a story for me. So me and Perry used to do this thing where when buses went by, Mum, we'd throw bananas.
I know.
Yeah, and you know, do you remember the really narrow windows at the top of the window you'd wind down on the bus?
Yes.
I remember getting a perfect hit as it flew through the window, hit the bus conductor, and then I hid behind here because they pulled the bus up to try and get me.
Yeah.
And me and Perry just hid behind here. Quite a good shot. You can see why I wanted to be a cricketer.
No, in fact, I think I was on one of the buses once that used to throw
Yeah,
them.
it's make a brilliant splat
Yeah.
on the side of the bus.
Yeah.
Nanny Thelma, do you remember Nanny Thelma?
Yeah, who got the railings for them?
Yeah, one time she came down and she helped buy the Christmas tree. We used to get the Christmas tree from Portobello Market.
Yeah, yeah.
And we were walking down this road, me carrying the thin end, her carrying the big end.
Yes.
And I remember for the first time realising the vulnerability of family members as she tripped,
Yeah.
headlong, landed splat on her face.
Whoa.
Just here, just on this road just here.
Whoa.
And I remember thinking, oh my God, I remember panicking. I was so anxious as a child. I remember panicking, thinking she was going to die.
Yeah.
How was I going to be able to sort her out and not lose the tree?
Oh, God, no.
I mean, you know, thinking about everything,
Yeah.
worrying about everything.
Can I have my tissue?
Oh my God, can you think of nothing other than Brussels sprouts? She started on Katie now, our floor manager. People have got other jobs to do, you know, apart from look after your flaming sprouts. It's been sprouts.
Game away with the sprouts.
So Judy, Kay has just done her extraordinary upside down twerking.
She took it to another level. She passed the normal standing twerking. She went to competition level. I'm taking her to Jamaica, yeah, for the Royal National Dancehall Queen 2022. Little bit more training and we're done set the pace. You understand? She dip on her head tap. Right?
I think
See
you...
there?
I think...
KK, Hattie Kia, Malcolm Carter, Hattie Kia.
Was it a time of year that you always split up with people?
Well, we often seem to be on our own.
Yeah, I remember that distinctly.
You loved it.
Yeah, I did. I loved it whenever you ended a relationship because I
Yeah.
had you to myself.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was reminding a certain friend from Chiswick the other day that there was a poster in our living room for a film called Gloria starring Gina
yes.
Rowlands.
Yeah, Gina
and in the
Rowlands.
poster
John
she's
Cassavetes'
That's
film.
right, yeah. She's standing with her legs sort of strident and standing there with a
Strong
gun,
woman,
strong woman.
in a parasuit,
Yeah. And there's a boy just hiding behind one of her legs.
peeking around her.
That was me.
That was Mark.
I remember looking at that thinking that was me. And then I used to sort of pretend that my mum was her with a gun. It's all very exciting. It was all about guns, wasn't
Well, I
it?
think I did model myself on her. a bit.
Yeah. It was alongside a photograph pinned to the wall, really sort of haphazardly, of a elephant fetus.
Yeah, what was that?
And then, of course, there was all the poetry in the hall about blood, blood, blood running. It was your heady feminist phase, and I put a sign on my door saying menstrual-free zone. There was a lot of feminine politics.
And when we got the 4 dogs who were all female, before we had them done, there was a lot of blood in that flat, I can tell you. Sorry, maybe that's too much information.
There was. It makes you understand why I put the sign up.
Yeah.
I remember, Mum, down there was the police's manager, the band, the police. And they used to have, outside they'd have a box of 7-inch singles by them. And we used to come up and we used to get them and then we'd just play frisbee with them. Yeah. The look of tight emotion on Nan's face isn't emotion or nostalgia, it's she needs the loo. That's why her ears are twitching. Look.
Yeah.
This is, you may recognise here.
This wasn't here.
Wasn't this the one in the film?
Which one?
Notting Hill, isn't it?
Is it?
I think so. Well, it wasn't here when we were here, no?
Sorrow and Bliss, because I've recommended that to you guys.
Oh yes. Oh yeah. There you go. I think that's the Notting Hill one. And this is Portobello Market. That Sainsbury's over there, I used to throw, well, it wasn't a Sainsbury's, I used to throw stink bombs in the meat department.
Well, it never used to be Sainsbury's.
No, that's where I used to nick Mars bars from, Mum.
I think that used to be Gateways. There's
Yes.
shop called Gateways that
Yeah.
you can never see that.
That is it. We are done. We had a hilarious time. Kay's Twerking is the hit of 2022. Unfortunately, we sadly just heard that ITV have cancelled all Christmas parties because of COVID. So it's very sad, but a few of us are going to go to lunch anyway, that are here anyway. Judy's got me, she's going to meet us afterwards, and me, Kay, Jane and Carol are going to go for a little lunch. It would have been nice to be with the team, but hey, that's this world at the moment. I'm actually getting extremely worried about Carol now because she's actually leaving the studio with them. Carol!
I'm not leaving them here.
Carol, you cannot leave the building with those Brussels sprouts.
Oh, I can and I will.
You're starting to look very silly.
I don't. I'm
Carol, as a friend.
People are starving in the world. You can't waste Brussels.
As a friend, Carol.
You don't want any sprouts.
Put down the Brussels sprouts.
And you may have heard the stories of when my mum would come to the school, pretend I had a dentist appointment because there was a particular screening of a film.
Oh, it's the electric.
It's the electric cinema. Sorry.
That's where all your formative films were.
Hey,
All your formative films.
let's go in. Let's go in and go to the toilet. Hey?
Well, that's the electric cinema, the famous one.
That's kind of where you could argue my birth of the love of film came from.
Yeah, you could
Yeah.
argue that. It was sort of, it had a name, it was the place to go to see everything. I used to go, all of this is very wrong and I don't sort of say it lightly, but I used to go and take Mark out of school so we could go and see some big film.
Yeah, yeah.
And he couldn't even read this, it was so enormous, he was so sort of overawed by everything. He'd be reading subtitles, you couldn't know
I
what
remember
was
thinking,
going
why
on.
have they got words with the film?
Yeah. I mean, what would you have made if you know?
No, I know.
Things
Is it
like that.
apocryphal that they used to put drugs in their
Well, they
cookies?
used to say that, hash cookies and peyote in the Coke.
Wow. Coke as in the drink.
Well,
Peyote in the
let's
Coke could
just-
have been.
Yeah, peyote.
Wow. So many fond memories there.
Very fond memories, but often sort of like, you know, all in a bit of a haze, as everything was here in a bit of a haze. Even for you, probably.
Very hazy.
We used to say, oh no, we weren't.
Yeah, I would. I'd get the nibbles.
You'd get the nibbles in the middle of the night, yeah. That was
And the jam tarts would always be gone, Mum.
That's true. I mean, that was a very good friend of mine. It wasn't even...
Yeah.
She wasn't even one of the weird ones, was she, Mary Rose?
No.
She used to come round and we both used to play I Will Survive, usually after we'd broken up with somebody. I will survive.
Yeah.
And all the dope smoking going down the hall, and then you'd come out going, any Jaffa cakes?
Yeah, I know, they'd always be gone. But you were saying just in there, whilst we had a Coke, that if you hadn't moved from here, it could have been the location of your demise.
Yeah, I think it might have killed me. I mean, I was getting very bad with drugs and drink and everything, really, and just generally not holding it together.
Yeah.
And I think, I'm sure that where your sort of anxiousness comes from, well, right from being a little boy, but you know, was
kind of,
I was always running away for a start. So you were sort of either seeing the back of me running off somewhere, or picking up something, often you, and running with you when you were younger. But no, it was the opposite of being stable.
Yeah.
The absolute opposite.
There you go. Probably the birth of both mine and my mum's love of cinema.
Yeah, I mean things like that. Which, funnily enough, and the toy shop in Elgin.
Well, we're going to go up there.
Yeah. Was they were your stable things in your life, far more than me, who was such a sort of airhead.
Carry him downstairs for me.
I see. Now she needs a Brussels sprout carrier.
I'm taking
Oh my God, she's a mover, this one. Go on, you go with the Brussels. Go on.
The Queen of Brussels.
Anyone feeling Christmassy yet?
See, I faked it to made it kit. Oh yeah, and I have faked it to mate it. I have to tell you, my hangover kicked in a few times on air. I've got stuck for words, but the girls covered for me. Yeah, such a shame about our party being cancelled. Bye! Thank you, Brussels sprout man.
Carol. This is becoming a real situation.
I'm trying to share them, but nobody's interested.
Why are you in the wardrobe room?
Because I need a bag to take some home.
Yeah, I think we've said it already today, but I used to love it when one of your relationships came to an end.
Yeah.
Because I'd literally have Nan to myself, my mum to myself. I keep calling her Nan, of course. But yeah, it was lovely.
Yeah.
And it's that funny thing that probably, whilst I love going down to Nan's, you always, that's why I did a review of Come On, that Joaquin Phoenix film, where, do you remember the boy is really angry with his mum, but then all he wants is his mum?
Yeah.
It's that strange dichotomy.
Yeah, well, I always remember there were so many things where there was evidence of that. Like Mum always said, when you had your hair cut, you would only let this woman called Diana.
That's right,
cut it.
do you remember? Oh, yes.
Do you remember
Yeah,
that?
I do. And I only like men with moustaches because I had some long distant memory that my dad had a moustache.
Yeah,
did he?
but she did.
Oh, he did. So maybe I was hunting for my dad in a moustache.
In a weird way, yeah.
Bizarre. I'm just going to turn you around because it's the most emblematic shot of Portobello without schools, unfortunately. So here, oh my God, look, this is it. This used to be it. This was the toy shop in which I'd come and get my one stormtrooper. I mean, I had a Jawa or something else. But this is exactly there where I met Boba Fett, and I thought I'd met the real one.
Yeah, you did. Oh.
What an idiot.
No, it was sweet.
What an absolute idiot. What a douchebag. And then up there was where I stuck my tongue out at a motorcyclist like him. He came all the way back down, chased me up there, and threatened to hit me in a doorway. I was only about 7. No, I couldn't have been. I was more like 12.
Yeah.
So shall we start to head back?
Yeah. Well, I remember
Oh, go on.
on Portobello Road itself. Do you remember? You wouldn't remember, but I drove a Citroen Diane for a
I
while.
do.
And because of the name Citroen Diane and all of that. But I remember driving it down Portobello because in those days you could drive at certain
Yes, that's
times
right.
up and down. And this drunk man coming along, I must have done something to him. I've cut him up or something. as he came along the side of it, he punched the bodywork so hard. And because those cars are just...
Did it fall over?
It nearly did. It just buckled.
Wow.
The whole wing buckled
Wow.
because he was such a big guy.
That is the end to our lovely lunchtime, and we're all heartbroken because this beautiful restaurant, a few days from Christmas, best food, cricket, try and come book a table here, not a soul in here. It's bloody heartbreaking.
I keep getting pains in my chest, Subs.
No, don't.
Keep asking my mum what are the signs of it. Have you noticed how she's wearing a mask even when she doesn't have to? You can barely see your head. We may as well not have Nanny die here.
No, don't say that.
Well, no, I mean, insofar as we like to see your cheeky little face. So, down Elgin Crescent now, we're heading back. That's our journey up the stream back to where the salmon lay their eggs.
Well, really?
Yeah, I think so. So are you the salmon or am I the egg? Which are we?
What I've come to the conclusion is that it's a mixed
Bag?
feeling. I mean, going from the excitement of coming over the Crescent
Yeah.
and the excitement of London and the fireworks and
Yeah.
everything, I probably felt safer during that period because Pete was a very sort of safe guy and he was awkward.
Well, he'd always end up with a broken nose. He had a hand grenade on top of the television,
He was a fighter.
and he had a spiked mace on the wall.
Yeah.
That was safe.
Well, he was safe in the sense that if anybody ever tried to chat me up and hit them.
I know. I remember coming into the bedroom once. He did the smelliest farts,
Oh, shush!
and I remember he had one of those round things, like the guy in the Pink Panther when he shot his nose off. Do you remember?
Yes.
He had a round thing on his nose, and one time he was so bandaged, all that was showing were his eyes.
Yeah, he had to have his nose reformed.
I remember that. This was the safe guy. And he had, it wasn't a replica, it was a hand grenade that had been deactivated, but it had a pin in it and a lock on it. So maybe that added to my anxiety, Mum. Could have done. Go on.
One of the things that was very important to me during that period, not that it's relevant to exactly here, but theatre and whatever, was the Rocky Horror Show. I must have gone about 50 times.
Yes.
And you used to walk into the theatre and they'd have people sitting still.
That must have
and you
been
didn't
so
know they were
exotic.
people. It was so exotic and it was so scary.
Wow.
And Tim Curry was the guy who played Frankenfurter and he was brilliant.
Oh, I love, what, he played it on the stage?
On the stage.
And then it became the film.
Yeah.
See, as we wander around, I'm just having memories of things like, have I got number 4 of the DC comic of Batman?
Yeah.
There's sort of that thought going through my head.
Yeah.
Sorry?
Well, when I think about it, I mean, it was so fundamental to you, of the age you were, and the fact that you'd only got me.
Yeah, I
So
think
in
that's
the
why whenever
sense-
you seemed vulnerable, I felt vulnerable.
Yeah, I mean, it was, you were always sort of, you know, in your own way, bless your heart, trying to look after me.
Yeah.
And although you didn't like my partner, you didn't not like them, but you didn't want me to be with them because then I spent more time with you.
Yeah.
But there must have been a bit of you that sort of felt I was safer with them or something. Then it was
I
all
think so.
falling on you. When
I think so. I mean, I knew that a lot of them, I was just saying to my mum in the electric cinema where we just got a Diet Coke because they weren't serving food in time. A lot of my mum's partners, I could tell, were tolerating the annoying child. It was kind of, you know, a slight distraction from my rather beautiful mother.
Which I was in those days.
Now, up by Ladbroke Grove, but my mum's little legs can't cope with it anymore. By Ladbroke Grove, I used to sell Socialist Worker. And who was that? I used to sell it with a guy called Pete. And he took me to my first football matches.
Yeah, he was... now, that wasn't a radical feminist group. That was a socialist feminist group.
Yeah,
And,
so many funny memories. And then my mum would take me to round Paddington. And I'd have a bucket of glue.
Yeah.
I'd have a balaclava on. They'd
Yeah.
chuck me out the side of a van or something.
Because we'd-
And I'd fly post
post.
Socialist Worker meetings and demos. The word
Yeah.
demo was said a lot.
Yeah.
We're going on a
And
demonstration.
also, the thing was that, you know, there was a lot of fly posting going on then, and they wouldn't arrest a child, was the thinking behind it.
That was the thinking behind it. They wouldn't arrest me.
They wouldn't arrest a child. And I used to paint things and paint round the photos.
Yeah,
instead
my
of
mum
painting.
used to put drawing pin loads of photos to the wall and articles and poetry that she typed manically on a typewriter, and photocopies
It
and
was before the days of
all sorts of shit. So she put them all over the walls, And then rather than taking them down to paint the kitchen, I hasten to add, a lurid bright red.
Yeah, red.
She would paint round the drawing pin photos on the wall. So if you were to pull them all down, they were just square bits
Square things.
everywhere.
What was wrong with me?
Well, you just kind of, whenever you thought of something to do, you just do it.
Yeah, I would. That was the problem. That was always the problem.
Yeah. So how have you found our little stroll down memory lane?
Well, it's been a mixture.
It's a little bit like a Christmas carol.
I feel like I've dipped into something that, I mean, it's very impressionistic. I remember all of this, but it was coming through a haze of
Drugs.
drugs, alcohol, sexuality, because it was here that my sexuality was established, I suppose.
And I was just a little boy alongside her. Hey.
So I'm home.
Well done.
The thing was, I woke up at 4 o'clock in the morning and I went to look in the room for you and you weren't there and I was so anxious.
Right.
I thought you'd had a heart
I
attack.
slept on the sofa.
But I couldn't come downstairs because I was too scared in case you were dead.
Oh, right.
So then
nice.
I lay there until my alarm went off at 7.
Oh, it's good to know that if I am dying, you're going to
Well,
just stay
'cause I
upstairs.
thought, no, because I knew you wouldn't still be alive. I just thought you were going to be dead.
Oh, I see. But I could be in the
So-
process of dying.
So I said to Kate, oh my God, I feel so bad because I was so worried that Mark had had a heart attack and I didn't get. She said, oh, I do that all the time at the inn. She said, it's not that you're terrible, you were just too terrified. And I went, well, I was too terrified. It was really sad because all parties were cancelled by ITV, i.e. ITV didn't pay for it, but all our production team and everything couldn't come out.
Oh,
They
no.
couldn't even go across the road and have a drink. Right, so me, Kay, Jane and Carol and Judy went across to Cricket, right? Honestly, subs, it's the most gorgeous Indian food you will ever have. 2 Christmases ago, I was thinking I've got to phone up and book it. You had to queue. We were the only people in there the week before Christmas.
Wow.
And I said, are you going to be busy tonight? She said, everybody's cancelled.
Oh, no.
We can't go on like this.
Oh, no. And everyone's like, oh,
We
God.
cannot go on like this. Like this gorgeous young girl that was doing my makeup, she said, I've cancelled everything because my mum won't have me in the house if I've got Omicron. So it's like... So how was your day?
It was really special, actually. It was really, really special being out with my mum. She told her whole story as we walked around Blenheim Crescent, Ladbroke Grove. It's the first time I've been there with her in, I think, since I was a child. And it was really emotional. It was really moving in a good way. It wasn't mawkish. It was just like, oh my God. And we both just realised how amazing it is that we've come from then to now together. So it was really, really quite beautiful.
Oh, babe.
Yeah, no, it was really nice and really eye-opening to be reminded,
Oh, sweet.
you know, what a young child she was
Yeah.
and how taken advantage of she was by so many people. So it was actually really
Cathartic.
healing for both of us, I think. I think we both, yeah, it was really
Well,
good.
that's a true Christmas. That's
So
the
I'm
true
crying, but
spirit
it was
of
a
Christmas.
really,
Yeah.
really good thing.
Do you know what? Out of Christmas, it's all got so commercialised and so
Yeah.
crazy. Do you want me to stop filming?
Yes. You know, that was where my mum used to drag me out of school to go and see films. And as we stood there, we were just like, wow, for her it's as much of a daze as it was for me because I was a child. So when I look back, it was hazy. And I just realised in her, as she realised, just how hazy it was for her and how young she was. You know, she was 23 when she got there. Yeah, so, yeah,
Younger than Izzy now.
really moving. Love you, Mum.